Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazmelia Indah Putri. Today I want to practice about useful expression for discussion. So let me start. Chairperson. The purpose of our discussion is, let's discuss. If we talk about, it seems necessary to discuss and decide which is the most and the least. Let's begin with, let's discuss. First, we need to, who would like to begin? Can you explain your point a little more clearly? Can we see what other people think about this? Who has not had a chance to speak yet? Is there any last comment on this point before we move on to the next one? So, we have two opposing arguments here. On the one hand, on the other hand. In other words, most of us think that, can we draw any conclusion from what we have been saying? Everyone giving your opinion. I think that in my view, or in my opinion, as far as I can see, or I'm concerned, surely the main reason for my opinion is, to my mind, in fact, to the best of my knowledge, the way I see it, if you ask me, I'm not sure if it is said or believed or known that it is obvious that it seems to me that I have or a feeling that, well, I would like to say, you can take it from me that if you ask me, it seems to me that I think, or I feel, or I reckon, or I believe. If you want my point, first of all, or to start with, I'd like to point out there can be no doubt that nobody will deny that everyone knows. Let's get this clear first. The point I'm trying to make is, I'm absolutely convinced that the way I look at or see it is this. Giving an explanation. Look, it's like this. The reason for this is, just let me explain. Well, the thing is, what I mean is, the main problem is, well, the reason is, above all, we must keep in mind that balancing arguments. On the one hand, on the other hand, some people say that, others believe that. It is said that, however, asking questions about someone else's opinion or explanation. Could you tell me, what's your opinion about? How do you feel about? What do you think about? Do you think or do you feel? May I ask you? Do you mean that? Do you agree? Do you share my opinion of you? What do you mean when you say? What do you mean by that? I don't fully understand. Can you give some examples? Could you explain to me? Just tell me the reason why. I just don't see why or what or how. I didn't quite get that. Could someone please tell me? I don't really understand. Are you saying that? I beg your pardon? Excuse me, did you say that? Agreeing and disagreeing. I quite agree. I couldn't agree with you more. That's true, or that's right. Exactly. Precisely. Right. Certainly. Definitely. I think so, too. That's just my feeling, or that's just my opinion. That's a very good, or that's a very important point. Yes, of course. Definitely. Absolutely. That's exactly what I mean, or say. I agree because I strongly agree with you. I couldn't agree more. That seems very logical to me. I share your point of view. That's exactly how I see it. How very true. Yes, indeed. I agree completely or entirely. I entirely or completely agree with you on that. That's just it. You are quiet. So right. I don't think so either. That's just how I see it. Feel about it too. You have got a good point there. Marvelous. Yes, that's obvious. That's what I think. So do I. So am I. I'm in all favor of what you have been saying. I can see your point, but that's a very good point. But yes, perhaps. But yes. But on the other hand, I agree up to a certain point. But maybe, I suppose so. I don't think it's as simple as that. You may be right there. Yes, possibly, although, yes, up to a point. Yes, in a way. Well, it depends. I see what you mean, but I think that's not the whole story. Yes, but there is also another aspect to consider. I am afraid I can't agree because I disagree with you. I'm afraid. I don't quite agree there. I'm not quite so sure, really. Do you really think so or believe that? Well, that's one way of looking at it, but you can't really mean that. I wouldn't say so. I don't think you're right. I don't want to agree with you, but I do agree with you. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you. Are you seriously suggesting that? No, I really can't agree, I'm afraid. I'm not so certain or at all sure if that's true or correct. I'm sorry, I can't agree. I'm not convinced that, well, I have my doubts about that. You don't really mean that, do you? I don't think so. Surely, you don't mean that? I can go all the way with you on point that. I can go all the way with you on that point. Summing up. To sum up, to conclude, to summarize, taking everything into consideration, I can suggest the following order. Do you agree? I believe the most important is, and the least significant is, we have agreed on the following order. We have decided that number one is, number two is, and number three is. Thank you. I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.